Your driveway's covered in grime. Your patio's got that green film creeping across it. And somewhere in your garage sits a pressure washer you're probably using all wrong. Here's the thing. The pros charge hundreds for jobs you could crush in a single afternoon, if you knew what they know, and most of it they'll never tell you. So today, we're spilling 11 pressure washing secrets that make those expensive outdoor cleaners look absolutely ridiculous. Let's dive in. Number 1, the soap does the work, not the muscle. Here's the secret that flips everything you think you know about pressure washing on its head. Watch an amateur and they'll grab the wand, crank it to full blast, and try to muscle grime off the concrete with raw water pressure alone. Watch a pro, and they'll spray a cleaning solution across the whole surface first, and then walk away. That pause has a name. It's called dwell time, and it's the single most important step that separates a mediocre clean from a jaw-dropping one. The detergent needs time to sit on the surface, break the chemical bonds holding the dirt, grease, and organic gunk in place, and lift it loose. Give it 10 or 15 minutes to do its thing, and by the time you come back with the wand, the grime practically surrenders on contact. Professionals lean on chemistry because it does the heavy lifting for them. That's why they can use lower pressure, work faster, and get a more even result. The soap loosens everything. The water just rinses it away. When you skip this step and try to blast dry, caked-on dirt with pressure alone, you're forcing the machine to do a job that a $5 bottle of cleaner could have done for you, and you'll be out there twice as long with half the result. So next time, wet the surface, apply your cleaner, let it dwell, and let the chemistry win the fight before you ever pull the trigger. Work smarter, not harder. Number 2, those colored tips are a secret cheat sheet. Ever notice that little kit of colored nozzles that came with your pressure washer and just ignored it? Big mistake. Those colors aren't random decoration. They're a standardized code that tells you exactly how the water sprays, and using the right one is the difference between a beautiful clean and a permanently scarred surface. Here's the cheat sheet the pros have memorized. The red tip is 0 degrees, a needle-thin pencil point jet of pure force. The yellow tip is 15 degrees, built for heavy-duty stripping. Green is 25 degrees, your everyday general-purpose workhorse. White is 40 degrees, a wide, gentle fan for delicate surfaces. And black is 65 degrees, a low-pressure tip designed specifically for applying soap. Now here's the part nobody warns you about. That red 0-degree tip is a trap. It looks like the powerful option, so beginners reach for it thinking more concentration equals a better clean. But that pinpoint jet is so intense, it can gouge concrete, splinter wood, tear through paint, and even cut skin. Pros barely touch it, and only on the toughest materials like steel. The real secret is that a wider angle is usually the smarter choice. That 25-degree green tip handles the vast majority of jobs, and the 40-degree white is perfect for siding, cars, and wood. The golden rule the professionals follow every single time. Start with the widest nozzle, test a small spot, and only step down to a narrower angle if you truly need more bite. It costs nothing, and it'll save you from ruining a surface you can't unruin. Number 3, GPM is the number that actually matters. Walk into any hardware store and you'll see pressure washers screaming one number at you in giant font: PSI. 3,000 PSI, 4,000 PSI, and most people assume the biggest number wins. The pros know that's exactly what the marketing wants you to think, and it's only half the story. There are 2 numbers that matter, and they do completely different jobs. PSI, or pounds per square inch, is your cutting power. It's the force that breaks the bond between grime and the surface. But GPM, gallons per minute, is your rinsing power. It's the volume of water flowing out, and it's what actually flushes the loosened dirt away and covers ground fast. Think of it like this. PSI cracks the dirt loose, but GPM carries it off the surface. If you've got sky-high pressure but a trickle of flow, the grime just gets knocked loose and then floats right back down, forcing you to make pass after pass over the same spot. Boost the GPM, and the dirt gets swept away in one clean sweep. This is why professional contractors obsess over GPM while homeowners fixate on PSI. A machine advertising a monster PSI number but a puny 1.0 gallons per minute will actually clean slower than a lower pressure unit pushing 2.0 gallons per minute. That budget washer with a huge number on the box? They often cut the GPM to keep costs down, and you pay for it in wasted afternoons. So the next time you're shopping or wondering why your driveway is taking forever, stop staring at PSI and check the flow rate. Higher GPM means faster rinsing, better coverage, and a job that's done in a fraction of the time. Number 4, kill it at the root and it stays gone. This one's the biggest secret of them all, and it's the reason the pros can promise results that last for years while your DIY job turns green again by summer. When you see black streaks on a roof or that greenish film spreading across your siding, you're not looking at dirt. You're looking at living organisms, algae, mold, mildew, and lichen that have rooted themselves deep in the pores of the surface. And here's the brutal truth. When you blast them off with a pressure washer, you're only removing the visible part. It's like mowing weeds instead of pulling them. The roots survive, and within a few months, the whole colony grows right back. The professional answer isn't more pressure. It's a completely different method called soft washing. Instead of force, it uses chemistry, a diluted solution of sodium hypochlorite mixed with a surfactant that helps it cling to the surface. Applied at barely more than garden hose pressure, that solution soaks in and kills the organisms at the cellular level, roots and all. Then, a gentle rinse washes the dead material away. The difference is night and day. A pressure-washed roof can streak again within months. A properly soft-washed one can stay clean for years because the thing causing the stain is actually dead, not just relocated. New spores have to land, establish, and grow from scratch before you'll ever see it come back. One important caution: this chemistry will burn plants. Pre-wet your landscaping with plain water before you start, cover anything valuable, and rinse everything thoroughly when you're done. Do it right, and you'll clean less often and get results that put the blast and pray crowd to shame. Number 5, the attachment that ends zebra stripes forever. If you've ever finished pressure washing a driveway, stepped back to admire your work, and instead seen a mess of streaky lines running across the concrete, congratulations, you've met the dreaded zebra stripe, and it's almost impossible to avoid with a standard wand. Here's why it happens. When you clean flat work with a wand, you're waving a single spray fan back and forth by hand. Every wrist movement changes the distance and angle, which means the pressure hitting the surface is never perfectly even. Some passes clean a little more, some a little less, and the result is those maddening stripes that scream amateur. The pros solved this problem a long time ago with one attachment: the surface cleaner. It's a flat round housing that hovers just above the ground with a spinning bar underneath that has nozzles on each end. As it rotates, it delivers a perfectly consistent, even blast across the entire circle at once. No wrist wobble, no distance changes, no stripes. And the streak-free finish is only half the payoff, because a surface cleaner covers a wide area in one steady motion and traps all the splashback under its housing. Instead of spraying it all over your legs and the side of the house, it cleans dramatically faster than a wand. We're talking about turning a long, tedious driveway into a job you knock out in a fraction of the time with a flawless, uniform result the whole way across. Match the surface cleaner to your machine's GPM and PSI, and it's arguably the single best upgrade you can buy. It's the tool that instantly makes your work look professionally done. Number 6, hot water is the grease cheat code. Try to clean an oil-stained garage floor or a greasy driveway with a standard cold water pressure washer, and you'll fight it all day. You'll blast and watch that dark stain barely budge. The pros know the reason, and the fix is almost embarrassingly simple: heat. There's a reason you wash greasy dishes with hot water instead of cold. Grease and oil cling stubbornly to surfaces, and cold water just pushes them around without dissolving them. But add heat, and the whole chemistry changes. Hot water breaks down the molecular bonds in oil, grease, and sticky residue, loosening its grip and turning a job that felt impossible into an easy rinse. This is actually the real difference between pressure washing and power washing, a term people throw around interchangeably, but they're not the same thing. Power washing simply means pressure washing with heated water. And for the right jobs, that heat is a genuine game changer. Water up around 180 degrees or hotter will lift oil that cold water can't touch, which is exactly why every serious commercial operator owns a hot water rig. Where does it shine? Oil-stained driveways, garage floors, restaurant entryways slick with grease, dumpster pads, loading docks, anywhere petroleum, food grease, or sticky grime has baked into a hard surface. Pair that hot water with a degreasing solution and the results are dramatically better than cold water at the same pressure. A quick warning though, heat isn't for everything. Wood, plastic, and painted or delicate surfaces can warp or scorch, so save the hot water for tough, durable materials and greasy messes. But for those jobs, it's the cheat code that leaves cold water cleaners in the dust. Number 7. Oxalic acid. Erases rust that cold water can't touch. Here's a stain that makes grown adults give up, those ugly orange-brown rust marks on concrete. You know the ones, bleeding out from a metal patio chair, a forgotten tool, a sprinkler head, or fertilizer that got tracked across the driveway. You can pressure wash them all day at max power, and they won't move an inch because rust isn't sitting on top of the surface. It's a mineral stain chemically bonded into it. The professional secret weapon isn't more pressure. It's a mild, inexpensive acid you've probably never heard of, oxalic acid. It comes as a crystal powder, and it works through pure chemistry. It chemically binds to the iron in the rust, converts it into a form that dissolves in water, and lets you simply rinse the stain away. No scrubbing your arms off, no blasting, no damage. Mixing it is straightforward. For concrete, masonry, and stone, a common ratio is roughly 1 cup of crystals per gallon of warm water. Apply it to the stained area, give it time to dwell and work, then rinse thoroughly. Watch a rust stain that survived everything else just vanish. A few pro tips make all the difference. Oxalic acid is relatively gentle compared to harsher acids. It won't etch glass and it's forgiving on masonry, but it's still an acid, so wear gloves and eye protection and keep it off live plants because it'll burn them. Rinse until no white residue remains. For rust, fertilizer bleed, and irrigation staining, oxalic acid does in minutes what raw pressure can't do at all. It's one of those tricks that makes people think you've got some kind of magic touch. Number 8. The same crystals turn gray wood back to gold. Remember that oxalic acid from the last secret? Here's the bonus that makes it one of the most valuable products in a pro's arsenal. The exact same crystals that erase rust will also bring a weathered, gray, lifeless wood deck roaring back to life. Here's what's happening to your old deck or fence. Over years of sun and rain, the natural tannins in the wood oxidize, turning that once warm cedar or pine a dull, dead gray. Most people assume the wood is just old and there's nothing to do but replace it or paint over it. But that gray is a surface chemical reaction, and oxalic acid reverses it. In the trade, oxalic acid is known as a wood brightener, and it's the finishing move in a proper deck restoration. The process goes in steps. First, you clean the wood with an oxygen-based cleaner, sodium percarbonate, to strip away the dirt, grime, and any algae or mildew. That cleaner is alkaline, though, which leaves the wood needing a reset. Then comes the oxalic acid. It neutralizes that alkaline residue and chemically reduces the gray oxidation, restoring the honey gold color the wood had when it was new. For wood, the mix is stronger than for rust, often around 2 cups of crystals per gallon of hot water. Apply it evenly across the surface so you don't get patchy bleaching. Let it dwell and rinse clean. The transformation is genuinely stunning, and it preps the wood perfectly for a fresh stain or seal. So while everyone else is pricing out new lumber, you're bringing the old deck back for the cost of a bag of crystals. That's the kind of secret that pays for itself instantly. Number 9. Wash from the bottom up. Rinse from the top down. This one sounds almost too simple to matter, but it's the trick that separates a streak-free, professional-looking wall from a job covered in ugly clean lines and detergent runs, and it costs you absolutely nothing to do right. When you're applying a cleaning solution to a vertical surface like siding, your instinct is probably to start at the top and work down the same way you'd read a page, but that's exactly backwards, and it'll wreck your finish. Here's why. As your cleaner runs down over dry, dirty areas below, it leaves streaky trails behind. Those detergent runs can etch into the surface and create permanent-looking clean stripes against the dirty background that are a nightmare to blend out. The professional method flips it. When you apply your cleaning solution, work from the bottom up. That way, any solution that drips down lands on an area you've already wetted and treated, so it can't leave a streak on dry, dirty surface below. You get an even, consistent coat across the whole wall with nothing running ahead of you. Then, when it's time to rinse, you reverse direction and rinse from the top down. Gravity is now your friend. The clean rinse water carries the loosened grime and dead debris downward and off the wall, and you never redirty a section you've already finished. Bottom up to apply, top down to rinse. Master that one rhythm and your siding, fences, and walls come out uniformly clean. No zebra stripes, no runs, no evidence that a human did it by hand. It's the little professional habit that makes the whole job look effortless. Number 10. Distance and angle save your surfaces from ruin. The most heartbreaking pressure washing disasters aren't the ones where the surface stays dirty. They're the ones where you clean it and permanently damage it in the process. Etched concrete with wand marks scarred into it, wood with the soft grain blasted out, leaving a fuzzy, ruined texture called furring, siding with holes punched clean through. And nearly every one of these is caused by two things: getting too close and holding a bad angle. Pressure isn't just about the number on the machine, it's about how concentrated that force is when it hits the surface. Get the nozzle right up against the material, and even a moderate setting delivers a punishing, focused blast that can gouge concrete and shred wood fibers. The pros keep their distance. A good starting rule is to hold the nozzle at least a foot away from the surface, then move closer only if you genuinely need more cleaning power, watching carefully for any sign of damage. Angle matters just as much. Blast straight down at a 90-degree angle, especially on wood or softer materials, and you're driving all that force directly into the surface, which lifts and splinters the grain. Instead, angle the spray around 45 degrees works well, so you're getting underneath the grime and pushing it off the surface rather than hammering it in. And never ever let the spray sit in one spot. Keep the wand moving in smooth, steady, overlapping passes. Pausing on a single point, even for a second, can leave a mark that's there forever. The pros always test on a small, hidden area first. Distance, angle, movement, and a test spot. Those 4 habits are what let them clean aggressively without leaving a single scar behind. Number 11. The surfaces you should never blast. We'll finish with maybe the most valuable secret of all, because it's the one that saves you from thousands of dollars in accidental damage. There's a whole list of surfaces that people confidently point a pressure washer at every single day. And every one of them is a mistake the pros know to avoid. Start with your roof. Blasting asphalt shingles strips off the protective granules that give them their lifespan, and it can force water up under the shingles into your attic. Roofs should always be soft washed, never pressure washed, no exceptions. Same logic applies to windows. High pressure can shatter the glass or blast right through the seals. And please, never pressure wash your car. That force strips the clear coat and paint and can dent panels. Keep going. Older brick and mortar can have the mortar between the bricks blasted right out, compromising the structure. Painted surfaces, especially on older homes that may contain lead paint, can be sent flaking off into your yard, creating a hazard. The delicate aluminum fins on your outdoor AC unit bend flat under pressure, choking its airflow. And any laminated or composite material can delaminate and swell. For all of these, the answer is the gentler methods we've already covered. Soft washing with the right chemistry, or a garden hose and a soft brush. Let the cleaner do the work instead of the force. One last pro tip to tie it together. To apply your soap and chemicals easily, use a downstream injector or that low-pressure black soap nozzle. It draws the detergent in at low pressure so it clings and dwells instead of atomizing away, giving you the pro-level chemical clean that makes the pressure almost an afterthought. And there you have it, 11 secrets that turn a good pressure wash into a great one and save you a small fortune in the process. Try a couple this weekend and watch your driveway, deck, and siding come roaring back to life. If this video helped you out, smash that like button and share it with a friend who's still doing it the hard way. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching.